Hey people, sorry, we got booted. So we're trying to restart this thing. So hopefully you guys are coming back. Sorry about that. I guess you get 1 hour and that's it. So let's start it up again. Let's see. We'll wait for Jeff to. And we're back.
I told you about the getting booted off.
I know
Remember?
you told me that, but I would have thought that they would have given a warning or something.
I thought there probably was. You probably just didn't see it.
I don't know. I was looking up at the time, and then I was like, okay, I don't know if they're going to give a 5 minute warning, 15-minute warning, nothing. It was just like all of a sudden it was like, hey, and it was just like,
Yeah.
your videos.
I saw someone earlier mention something about the band Ringo Death Star, who I mean, have you met those guys yet, Wayne?
I have not met them yet. No.
I forget who it was, but obviously I'm friends with those guys now. But
Mhm.
someone here in the chat I saw it go by. They mentioned that um, I forget someone. I think it might have been even Brett Ltd. who did the cover art for Three Wheels and stuff. Told me about this band that I might dig them, and so and so I listened to their whatever what album was out at the time, and there's a song I can't do it every time or something like that. I think that's what the person said it was called, and so I'm listening to. I'm like, oh, that's a cool track, and then I hear like the solo guitar like break comes in. The guy played like Eric solo from She's the Coming Sun,
Oh, really?
like as an homage. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't get, but I'm like, wow, like they did it like exact, like note for note. You know what I mean? And
Wow.
so I was like, and so then I did some Google research, and I saw that they had done like a Nylon magazine playlist, and they had put the Lassie Foundation on. So I'm like, oh, okay, so they're fans, and so and then at that time, Pumpkins were about to do a European tour, um, and we needed an opening band, and somebody was like, oh, do you know anybody? And so I reached out to those guys, and then they had Ringo just, and so they went on tour with us, and so I'd actually go on stage and play that song with them
Oh,
every
cool.
night and play that lead, you know what I mean? But yeah,
Campuzano.
yeah. So they, because Elliot, one of the members of the band, he was a big fan, and so he had seen us play like in Texas because they're from Texas, so he'd seen us
Cool.
play and a couple
Oh, when
times,
we did
yeah, yeah.
that trip out to Texas.
Well, no, but he saw us at the Wall of Sound festival, kind of in the,
Oh.
I think the later period.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. That's cool. Let me see. Okay, there's so many questions here. Let's see. I mean, everything like what brand are your glasses?
I don't, these are, oh yeah, these are Anne and Valentine. Anne and Valentine. They're from, I get them at uh, I Spy in Chicago, but also Gagosha in LA carries this line too. I think that's where I first became. Yeah, so yeah, they're nice. They're a nice brand of glasses. I do, and yeah, I've had a few different pairs over the years.
So
But I
that's a.
really like. There's another brand from Belgium called Theo,
Mhm.
Theo, and they make really cool, unique glasses as well. I'm into these kind. This is like a very Nigel Tufnel. I'm very into like because I think that these are, even though I think these have like a little bit of like a really thin plastic cover over here, they're actually made of titanium, and
Mhm.
so they're really strong and really light. And I have a really thick prescription, and so it keeps like the glasses not feeling so heavy, and yeah, they're absolutely comfortable. So
Coincidence. So when I was living in New York, my neighbors work for that company.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, that's cool. I known, I would have hit you up for a discount because you know what I mean. They can be pricey.
Yeah, they're very pricey, but
French, you know
really,
what I mean? Imported from France, you know.
yeah,
Gotta
yeah.
have well, but if you wear glasses a lot, like every day, you know, it's like a statement. So it's like you gotta like it's like the first thing people see. They're like, hey, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, yeah,
Mhm.
okay. Yeah.
Okay, another question. How did the song El Rey come about? Or did you,
You know, I don't think I have. I think that that song, if my recollection serves me correctly, was probably written as it. You know, when I kind of joined the band, there was a handful of demos that were the Pacific. That was basically the origins of the Pacifico album.
yeah.
You know, and so that was just like a demo, and you know, that was a strange record. We didn't really play much of that. That was a very, you know, when you think about it, like considering we had no money,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And like, I don't know, we were recording at like Krista Honick's like
Yeah.
office at
In a,
night.
in an office, a small office space in Glendora, California.
Yeah, and like it was kind of made in the studio. So
Yeah.
that was like basically a demo that, you know, was probably HR-16 drum machine and
Mhm.
Eric playing like a couple arpeggiated chords, and then we did it. And so I think at the beginning that drum machine is still the HR-16 that Andy ran through like a bunch of reverb, and then Jeremy Wood came in, and I think he really transformed that song. You know, Jeremy and Jason,
Yeah.
like,
There's
you know,
Jason's here. Jason's sitting
yeah,
looking
yeah,
right
I think,
there
you know, Jason next to Del Taco.
next to the Del
Absolutely.
Taco.
Totally. Yeah, because the bass and the drums really made that song.
Yeah.
And then I do know, but I think I played the guitar. I think I played the rhythm guitar in the studio, even though Eric wrote the part for whatever reason. I played because I know that's me. Him. I can tell that's I played his guitar. That fucking shitty Strat.
That's crappy.
And
Yeah.
I remember his DI through Andy's probably the GSP 21. Um, and then Eric played, I think, the 6 string bass over like the line in the
Andy says the
chorus.
main guitar was your scratch track.
Yeah, I remember. That's why I know I did the scratch track. We never redid it. And I do remember that I played the solo is a slide solo
Yeah.
that we used I think it was a Corona beer.
Oh, was it?
It was a Corona beer
Beer
playing.
bottle.
Yeah. A Corona beer. On that would have been my red Jazzmaster because that's the only really guitar I had that, and I don't think I used my Strat on that record at all. I think it was all pretty much the jet, you know.
Jazz
But
Master.
yeah, I know someone said it should have been a Pacifico, and I think I was almost about to say that,
That's Ellie.
but yeah, but
Eli
I don't.
Gold.
Yeah, oh, okay. But I don't think, you know, I think it was a Corona bottle because that's probably like all we had, you know. So I didn't have a real slide. So, and I hear it now and I'm like, oh my God, like it's horrible because it's so out of tune. You know what I mean? I'm like, because I mean, trying to get any type of accuracy with that would have been. I
Yeah.
think Billy's here. Supposedly people are, yeah, so Billy's here. Hi, miss you. You know, hope you and the family are safe. Um, so, but yeah, and that song is like our one kind of claim to fame because we that got picked to be on the hit at the time at a show at its height, Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and otherwise, if it wasn't for that one song placement, we would have never made any real money. And so we actually made some real money for a little period of time because of that one song placement.
And we only got
Yes.
that placement because of a very LA thing to happen, and kind of
Yeah, yeah.
an abject lesson in like you got to play your show no matter who's there, no matter what's going on,
Sure.
because
Yeah.
we were just playing shows left and right all over town, and we took this gig at this place called the Chorus Club, which I think none of us had ever really heard of before.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
wasn't really like
yeah.
a venue. It was like some kind of, I don't know. It was like a more of like a meeting place or something. But
Yeah, yeah.
so we took this gig, and we go there and we play with one other band, and I think we kind of flipped a coin for who was going to go on first or second, because there was nobody there. Like
There
there
was
was
literally nobody there.
literally
Yeah.
nobody. There were like two of our friends and I think one of their friends, and we're just like, I guess we're going to play this show, and they were like, hey, you know, after they were done, they were like, hey, could you guys stick around and not leave so that we can have people to play to?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so we stuck around and stuff, and then there was one person there that nobody knew, and the guy was like, hey, you guys have a record? And I think it was before we had finished Pacifico or
Yeah, we
something.
didn't even have a record.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
didn't have a record out, and so I took his card, and his card said like 20th Century Fox on it or whatever. I was like, oh, this is weird. So like I think like 6 months later we had a Pacifico,
Yeah, yeah.
and we sent it to him, and then like 3 or 4 months after that, even like the guy was like, hey, I want to put your song on this TV
Which
show.
is so crazy, you know. And it was like that. It was such a cool scene because it was, if I remember, it was like there's high school graduation, the prom. You know, it
Yeah.
was like the see. It was a great. I mean, it was such a stroke of, you know, such a stroke of grace because it was the like season finale, the prom episode, and like people were slow dancing to the song. I remember seeing it, and like how, I mean, how cool is that? It really
Yeah,
doesn't get any
that was
cooler.
pretty
Yeah,
exciting.
yeah. So,
Let's see. What is your favorite song? Here's another question. What is your favorite song to play live?
with pumpkins, let me see. It changes. You know what I mean? Because we're always, you know, you know, but on this last, I'll just go because this last tour we did was really fun. I mean, we played with, we did like a co-headlining tour with Noel Gallagher and
Yeah.
his band. It's so, you know, well, actually, it was through this band AFI, which is We Share Management, which some of you guys may know them. And then Noel Gallagher played, and his band was just so good. You know what I mean? And um, you know, he really focused on a lot of his solo material, and then kind of at the end, he did like a run of like 4 Oasis tunes and then a Beatles song, of course, at the end. And people were just like in such a great mood, you know, and then and really in the best way possible, it really like people were like, wow, we're already having a good time, a better time than we even expected. So when we get on, the crowd was like just super jacked, and we were able to play a little more rock than we did in the Shiny tour, which was like the big arena run, you know, because that was like a really long produced spectacle type of show. And so, but we played this song. What did we? Um, uh, I guess my favorite from them was we played the song called Super Christ, which is
Oh
like
yeah.
more of like a jam. There's really only like, I don't know, like one or two vocal lines in the whole song. The rest is just kind of like a, a heavy jam, and Jimmy's just doing insane stuff. And it's just so fun to play. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
right.
it was really cool. Yeah.
And then maybe along those same lines, what are your favorite Lassie Foundation riffs to play?
Um, well, I really like Look All Ways, you
Oh yeah.
know. I think that's a good riff, you know, and
You
you
gotta
know,
send me a video about how to play that one too, because I want to play
that
that.
one's, you know, and it's, you know, again, if I wish I could go back in time, I would re-record it and have the guitar actually be in tune. You know what I mean? Because I hear because it's just like it's so horribly out of tune that I
I
can't even.
There's something charming about that though. You know, it's just like
I mean, it's like not even
it's
close.
it's not close, no, but
Which
but
I
there's
don't know. I just think that, you know, at the time I didn't. I'm sure I tuned it up here to a tuner, but the intonation on the guitar was just so off that
yeah.
anytime you fretted something, it was like, because I don't think I would um, purposely. I wouldn't be like, oh, I don't care. Like I'm just, you know what I mean. I think I probably thought I tuned my guitar, but it just
Yeah.
um, but I really do like that. Yeah, I mean, of my tunes, I really like. You played it. I showed you whatever Promise Ring the other day. I
Yeah,
thought that one that's a fun riff to play too. Yeah.
yeah, totally. Any new bands you're excited about?
Mm, God, new. Trying to think. No. I don't really listen to much new.
So, so you're
Why don't you go first? What are new bands like a new
well,
band that you
I mean,
haven't listened?
a
I mean,
new-ish,
because
a
even
new.
like the new bands, like for me, I realize are not that new.
Yeah, yeah, I'm in that same boat. I really like that band Always. I was just talking to Andy.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
They're really great. I love that band Preoccupations.
Sure,
Um,
sure, sure.
those guys are really good.
Steve Lacy.
What?
Steve Lacy.
Steve Lacy?
Steve Lacy, is
That's
that
Shell.
new?
That's what Shell is saying.
Yeah. Um,
Um,
yeah. I
I
think of
love.
new. Go ahead.
Oh no, no, go ahead.
I was gonna say of new stuff that I like. I think I'm more interested in things like FK Twigs. I
Mhm.
really love her work and her you know like the I kind of like more like the production work on that type of stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah, she's like someone new. If I could actually see my iTunes, my Apple Music live, I would be able to see all the stuff that I've added. There is there is a lot of new stuff, but
Mhm.
yeah. But I tend to like kind of like the records that I'm really listening to a lot, even if they're new or from already established artists.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah,
So if
yeah.
you're not listening to music from the '90s, which era are you? Are you
80s baby,
'80s?
80s baby, 80s baby. A lot of 80s, man. Like a lot of. I kind of like metal from like my favorite period of metal is like 79 to like 83. Because by 84, things kind of
'84 is
start.
Master of Puppets.
I think it's like 85 even maybe. But you're right. Yeah.
I thought
But
it
I
was
really
'84.
like things there became more like, like went in kind of specific directions and it did change where there was thrash metal, then there was LA kind of more glam metal and then it became very kind of divisive
Yeah.
and all those kind of things. But if you really think about kind of that kind of Priest,
Yeah.
Maiden, but even like kind of early
Early
American stuff, like from that period, like even like what Van Halen was doing, early Motley Crue, early Rat.
first record. Yeah.
Yeah, there was more of like it was more song oriented, but without getting super commercial sounding like it did later in the 80s. You know what I mean?
It was trying to be
So
nasty, like in a provocative way.
yeah,
It wasn't
yeah. So
trying to. They hadn't figured out the whole like they hadn't figured out that they needed to have the ballad in the middle.
yeah, yeah. It wasn't commercially viable in that way at that point, really. Yeah. And someone mentioned Quiet Riot, which Quiet Riot was the first heavy metal band to actually have a number one album. And so once that, which was in 1983, I believe. And so I think that's probably, as Chris there mentions, that really changed the game where we're like, wow, record labels like we can make some serious money from this.
And fun fact for Prayer Chain fans, the Prayer Chain had our lawyer was the same lawyer as Quiet Riot's lawyer.
um, Amazing.
In fact, we were in our lawyer's office when Kevin Dubrow called him, allegedly. He says,
Right.
"Oh, that was Kevin Dubrow."
Maybe he did that just to impress you guys, to like,
I
oh, like
think
we
he
got to
did.
really use this guy.
Yeah,
Um,
I think he did. But anyway,
well, I still listen to a lot of 70s music too, and I listen to new stuff. I listen to a lot of new stuff, but there's a lot of new in LA. There's like a kind of a cool like experimental, like a kind of more ambient electronic scene that I've become. We played a show with Night Dreamer where I became friends with some of the people doing this kind of stuff. So I've been listening to a lot of that kind of stuff.
where are you hearing that? Are there clubs that are having that?
Well, there's a venue in LA, Coaxial Arts, which is kind of more like an art performance space that does a lot of these types of shows,
Oh, cool.
you know, and
Where's that? Is that in downtown?
I think so. Yeah, and so it's a lot of like video projection meets ambient kind of music, multimedia type of stuff. Yeah, so I listen to a lot of that, listen to a lot of jazz too, but I've been listening to a shitload of Yngwie Malmsteen. Like I've gotten like 10 layers deep into Yngwie, like a ton, you know, and really working on a lot of his guitar techniques.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
it's kind of a golden age of media because like, you know, in the 80s it was like to try to figure out how those guys really did stuff, it was almost impossible, you know. You know, you couldn't really see. And then instructional videos came out, and there were some really, really great ones. But guys like Yngwie, even though he did one, I think maybe in the early 90s, but he plays a lot of crazy stuff. But he doesn't, like, there's a lot of stuff under the hood that you can't really see happening.
Mm.
But there's this amazing website called Cracking the Code. And this guy, Troy Grady, is just totally awesome dude. He, you know, has digitized all these instructional videos and stuff, and through computer tech, I was able to basically slow down all these, you know, these kind of videos and really see like what guys are doing with like their picking hand and stuff. And so you start seeing like these kind of patterns and techniques that you just can't really see with the naked eye. And so he's actually even mounts like on his, you know, I got my guitar. He's able to mount like an iPhone camera on the neck of a guitar, and then it captures like people picking. So he's had a lot of, you know, really great guitar players come in and make videos. And so, you know, I'm basically able to learn like, oh, like that's what you have to do to run a mile in 4 minutes. Like, you know what I mean? You start learning like you just certain things technical wise like that you have to do if you want to play that fast, you know. And actually I've been taking some lessons over the last year when we're in place with, you know, that guy Michelangelo.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm,
From
mm-hmm.
Nitro with the and the double neck
Yeah.
guitar and
Yeah.
yeah. So he's like one of the fastest guitar players in the world, and so yeah, I've taken like, you know, 2 lessons with him, and he's like the sweetest guy. So encouraging and like so like just super supportive of you know, me and my playing, and it's just you know it's just a trip like to see like be in the same room with a guy like that. But really nice to go like he can just literally like look at your hand and be like, oh, you know, like you're there. You just need to do, you know, it's like working on your golf swing or something. Like, you know, shoulders a little bit straighter. You know what I mean? Like it's pretty
Like
cool. Yeah.
working on the mechanics of, you know, how you're using your
Absolutely.
body.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I imagine that's helpful, especially if you're trying to do Yngwie Malmsteen shit.
Yeah.
That gets
Yeah.
sure. I love
Yeah.
that. I love that. We love that We're Stars video that
Oh,
you know,
yeah. Hearing
and
aid.
the Hearing Aid video, and Yngwie Malmsteen's like shredding in that thing, and then the Spinal Tap guys are there, and then David St. John's is like, I love how they called him. He's called Yngwie J. Malmsteen to differentiate himself from all the other Yngwie
Yngwie
Malmsteen.
Malmsteen. I know, amazing, right? Totally cool. I know. So
Let's see.
maybe we should do a couple more and then wrap it up.
Yeah,
So
totally. Let's see. How about I think some people wanted to hear about your work with the Violet Burning. What was that experience like for you?
again, you know, that was a you know, what a great opportunity. You know, I joined that band right out of high school, and I got to go from, you know, being in high school to playing within 6 9 months, playing LA clubs and being in a band with, you know, as you know Michael very well too, that he's, you know, he had a very high standard of excellence. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then
Mm-hmm.
Lonnie, the drummer at the time, was as you know, just a phenomenal drummer, you know, and yeah. So that was just my first kind of real experience of being like in a kind of a pro situation. And I, you know, once, you know, Lassie Foundation was kind of like a different, like that was like a different ideology, you know, it's like kind of like indie college rock had come in, and it was like, you know, kind of anti-professional, you know, to a certain degree, you know, or it just
Yeah.
was a different vibe. And that was very liberating too. You know what I mean? Was like a very moment of liberation. I think people don't, it's hard to go, you know, to look at it now in the same way. But I think for us to go like, wow, we can just kind of just have more, not like more fun, but just kind of do what we want to do, and not be so afraid to take some chances, you know, like you don't have to worry about, you know, but a lot of the lessons so that I learned in the Violet Bernie were when I got in the Pumpkins were very, very beneficial. And you know, this is, you know, at the time when I was auditioning for the Pumpkins, I didn't have an amp that would be of the caliber to be used, you know, with the horsepower, so to speak, to be able to play with someone like Jimmy. You know, I had like a Fender amp, you know, basically you'd run clean and use like some pedals, which is, you know, not going to cut it. So I knew that. And so Michael actually let me borrow, Michael from the Vibe Band let me borrow, he had a hot rodded modded Marshall JCM 800. And he was so cool. He let me have it for months.
Wow.
And so when I did those auditions, I had an awesome sounding amp. And so without him, you know, I really wouldn't have had, you know, a decent amp to play through. And he really did help me, you know, when I was doing those auditions, you know, because Michael like is a very good tight rhythm guitar player.
Oh yeah.
And so you know, I went to him and he, you know, gave me some pointers, you know, on how to like, you know, work on my like kind of heavier rhythm playing, you know, because in that band I was more, you know, always playing melodies and kind of leads and stuff, you know, and he was like, you know, but in Pumpkins it was gonna be like, okay, you're gonna have to play a lot of like heavy, tighter rhythms. And yeah, so he was very, you know, he's been a great friend, supporter, and I can't say enough good things about him. You know, he's, yeah, really wouldn't be where I am today without him.
Okay, and the last question is some folks want to know, are there any plans for more Lassie Foundation music? What is the likelihood of a Lassie reunion?
I mean, we
Well,
are always open to it, right? I think that's, you know, but it's just
getting the timing to work out, you know. I mean,
now we have the time, but we can't get together. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? So, and we're not, you know, the most technologically savvy band, you know, to be able to work all remotely. I think maybe we could try, you know what I mean? So
yeah, we started some songs about basically the last time that I saw you, like a year, almost a year and a half ago. And so we started doing some recordings at that time, and now I'm the one who's kind of dropped the ball on that so far, because I need to write melodies and lyrics and stuff, and for these songs that we started kind of piecing together.
Yeah.
I think once we get through, once I get some time after we get this mastering thing going and stuff, and then I'll be able to put some time to that. But
well, and also, you know, I think the universe has its way of kind of sorting out what's more important. And I think you knew in your heart you needed to finish this solo album.
Yeah,
which,
I was like
you know,
at the end of trying to
and I know how that, and you know, and it also gave me the time to launch Night Dreamer too, which has been, you know, let's just be honest, you know, I mean, as much as we love Lassie Foundation, it's, you know, it's a different type of beast. And I think for you in the present, me in the present, having these kind of newer musical outlets to kind of explore our creativity is very important. So now that we've kind of got out, now it seems like more realistic to go and revisit something like Lassie, which would, you know, like I said, I'm always happy to do, but I think, like I said, I'm thankful that things worked out the way they did, because, you know, there's even more interesting music to listen to.
Yeah, totally,
You know,
totally.
so.
Yeah, man.
So you better, but I'm telling you, man, if we do Lassie, you better get your spandex on because it's gonna be heavier, meaner, more aggressive. I'm just kidding. You might have to start singing in falsetto again, though.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, for sure. I know.
Yeah.
Get some spandex. Really bring the show. You know, you gotta bring the show every night. You know.
Yeah, yeah, you know what I mean. So, grow your hair out again and just be ready to go, man.
Well, we're all doing that right now, aren't we?
Totally right. I mean, it's insane. So,
Yeah.
well, thank you so much for inviting me. I'm glad
Yeah,
it
man.
was so fun. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a total blast. So,
Yeah, man. It's
how
so
many
good to
more
see.
weeks are you gonna do this?
I don't know. I'm not really sure. You know. I mean, it seemed like the right thing to do just because, like, you know, everybody was all separated and everybody's freaking out, and it just, you know, I did one, and it just seemed like, you know, people were just, you know, just liking being entertained by my, you know, stupid things that are said,
No, I think it's
songs and
cool.
shit.
I think it's cool
So,
that you do it at the same time, you
yeah,
know, every week. So it's something that people like can look forward to, you know. So
yeah.
very cool.
Yeah, we'll do it every week at 5:30, and I'm posting on social media. For those of you who maybe haven't tuned in before, I try to post on my social channels. I post here on my Instagram channel. I've got Facebook and on YouTube. I'm still trying to figure out the audio quality thing for the music, so that's a continuing kind of.
I gave you that, telling you, iRig Stream.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna check that out for sure, for sure.
Yeah, you'll have like stereo delays.
Yeah, yeah,
You can pan things left and
yeah,
right. You
yeah.
can do
So,
that. What's that? I don't know. Because I'm not. We'll really end now, you know, because we could go on for hours. But I don't know what it's called. But there's that thing that like young kids are kind of into, where they whisper
oh,
really quietly,
oh,
maybe,
yeah. I think I
and they
heard.
have like and it's all about like having like the stereo mic, and they'll be like I'm petting a teddy bear right now. And like it's like and like people like there's you look on YouTube, there's like literally like certain ones will have like millions of yeah.
LSE.
Oh yeah, that's right. AMSR. Yeah, look at all these people, they all know.
Everybody knows.
Yeah. You could totally do that once you get that. You could really like could do a whole AMSR set for next week.
I'll have to look into that.
I'm telling you, Wayne, I'm telling you, next week you got to do that for us.
Yeah, I'll look into it for sure, for sure. Well, thanks for coming, man, and
Yeah, thank you, everybody.
and yeah, we'll do it again soon, and let's chat soon.
Cool.
Cool.
Bye.
All right, bye. So, all right, so there's Jeff, and then I think I'll play a couple more songs, and then we'll play just a couple more songs because let's see, it's getting late, and I may not have. Oh, there we go. I might have not have saved that last video because of technical challenges. Can you check and see if?
Yeah, you look good. I'll take care of it.
All right. So this is one. This is a song that I had to reach out to Jeff for to try to learn how to play, or relearn how to play. And this is a song that's on the Pacifico album by the Lassie Foundation. And this is a song that I've never tried to do for an audience, but it's called "The Moon Won't Let You Wait." I know It's true. All I do is make you cry. It's true. All I do is make you try. So when I say goodbye, will this last time? I'll kiss you right. And this last time, I'll kiss you right. Well, it's too late to say the sun won't let you stay. The moon won't let you wait. But you know why? Now that I say goodbye, will this last time? I'll kiss you right. And this last time, I'll kiss you right. And this last time, I'll hold you right. I'll kiss you right. And this last time, I'll kiss you right. And this last time, I'll kiss you right. And this last time, I'll hold you right. And this last time, I'll love you right. Okay, last song. This is another song from that same record called Pacifico. This is called Kisses as Bounties. I think I played this one before, but I played it in regular tuning. This is the original way that I wrote it in this. We call it Lassie tuning, but it's kind of like a modification of what we used to call the curve tuning. One of our favorite bands, Curve, and it's kind of like a drop D kind of modification. But anyway, a lot of Lassie Foundation songs written in this tuning. How did you know I was heading for Pacifico? She was the one who could cut through my laser show. How could she see me so easily? She stole my kisses, her bounty, so now I go. You know I'm heading for Pacifico. I ran away, but now I'm sailing slow, sailing my way back to Pacifico. Here comes the Santa Ana, she's a-glowing in her wedding gown. Here come her warm winds blowing, got me going to the underground. How could she know me so easily? She stole my kisses, her bounty, so now I'll go. You know I'm heading for Pacifico. I ran away, but now I'm sailing slow, sailing my way back to Pacifico. 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 How could she see me so easily? I'll bring my heart as your trophy, and yes, I'll go. You know I'm heading for Pacifico. I ran away, but now I'm sailing slow, sailing my way back to Pacifico. Kisses, bounties, kisses, bounties, kisses, bounties. All right. Well, that's going to do it for today. Went quite a bit longer than normal. And I'm going to try to get this video and the previous one. Hopefully I have the previous one, have that ready for to put up on YouTube. So hopefully it'll work. I don't know if we're going to have, oh shoot, I lost my music. Okay, we don't have any outro music today. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. Thanks to Jeff for coming on, and we'll see you all next Saturday at 5:30 on one of these channels. So good night. Have a good weekend.